Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, Madonna's had a little bit of drama at the London Palladium. Um, Now, we all know she has an injury and she has been cancelling shows and she's been very late a lot of the times. And she's also recently started to edit her shows where she had already dropped a couple of songs, but at one point she dropped 6 songs from a show, and then since then she seems to have been cutting the first act, God Control, Dark Ballet, Human Nature, Express Yourself, and starting off with Vogue. So some fans have been unhappy about that, and it also seems to be some debate about what songs have been dropped and what songs she has been performing, because she seems to have varied it between concerts. It hasn't been consistent. Now tonight, last night, she actually started off with God Control, and she apparently did everything um, except Crave. But I think Papa Don't Preach and So Day were already removed, so people aren't counting them as being removed because they're not being counted for some reason. So she really just missed Crave. But apparently she started late at 9:05. I think she's supposed to start at 8:30, but she's been starting around 9 because the Palladium, God, they have an 11 o'clock curfew apparently, and this is like legal, so they have to close by 11. And obviously, the people who are working there are only paid to a certain time, and they have to leave by a certain time. So if shows go over time, it causes a lot of problems, and they just have to stop them. So apparently Madonna started at 9:05. She tried to do the whole show. Now Andrew Lloyd Webber was in the audience, and he apparently owns the Palladium. And she actually performed, instead of doing the beer act, she cut that out, which means some fan missed out on meeting her. But she did most of Don't Cry For Me Argentina for Andrew Lloyd Webber. I think she did the second verse and the chorus. She didn't do the whole song. I've heard contradicting versions. One that she did like almost the whole song except the first verse or something, and then other people saying she just did one verse and a chorus with a simple arrangement. Now, apparently when Future was about to begin, they started the backing track early, and she commented, she said, "Thank you, I wasn't ready." And it was 11. This is where it sort of gets confusing. Now, Madonna herself says, I'll read what she says. It was 5 minutes past our 11 o'clock curfew. We had one more song to do, and the Palladium decided to censor us by pulling down the metal fire curtain that weighs 9 tons. Fortunately, they stopped it halfway, and no one was hurt. Many thanks to the entire audience who did not move and never left us. Power to the people. Hashtag I rise. Hashtag on God. Hashtag MadameX Theatre. Hashtags the London Palladium. Blah 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 blah. So, and the comments on this are golden. I read a few of these, and actually mine's the first one up there. Wow, she's late and doesn't get off stage, and they have to bring down the curtain on her, and she plays the victim. I think I'm finally over her narcissism. Censor? Right, they brought down the curtain because they are against the message in her music to censor her. Right. A lot of comments from people that are basically saying that's very fucking disrespectful from the theatre manager. Oh no, damn, that's a bad one. A lot of people are saying basically she where are they? See all. Basically, she knows what time it's on, and she didn't get off the stage. They have to lower the curtain. People have to leave. People have to go home. Can I just see all the comments, please? Yes, you just have to respect your audience, be on time. One day the fire curtain will fall down and it will be your final call. Well then, lesson learned. I shall hope next show will be you'll have the decency to arrive on schedule, stop whining. This is your fault and not the venue's fault. A lot of people attacking Madonna for being late and then blaming the theatre. And I'm kind of with them. A few people are defending her, and I found an interesting article on Madonna Tribe where they were saying, "Oh God, how is it everything I had open has suddenly closed? Had everything? Ugh, great." Okay, so basically they were saying that she didn't run late, that she had until 11:15. I don't know where they got 11:15 from. They said she had until 11:15 and they cut her off at 11:10, and they claim, and this is bullshit, they claim that the security were walking around with their heads in their hands basically saying, "Oh no, we cut her off early. Oh, what did we do? Oh, we made this big mistake. Oh." And you can tell from the way it's written, no one speaks like that. They're just trying to cover for Madonna being late and blaming the theatre. Another person who was actually there, Oxana, put up a post and a video of her, of Madonna. Don't know how she got a camera in, but where's the rest of the video, darling? She said that Madonna was late, that it was 11:15 and they cut the sound off. So she said it was 11:15 when they cut the sound off. They say it was 11:10 and she had until 11:15, but they cut the sound off 5 minutes sooner. Madonna says she had until 11 and that she had needed 5 more minutes and they didn't give it to her. So there's 3 different versions. I'm believing the Madonna version because 11:15 sounds ridiculous. 11 o'clock sounds right, and the fact she's been starting on 9 and finishing at 11 is what I've been hearing. So, and that kind of makes sense. And she started 5 minutes late, so she ran out of 5 minutes time, basically. She probably shouldn't have sung to Andrew Lloyd Webber. She probably should have just cut that part, said a quick, "Hey Andy," while he was in the audience, and kept going with the actual numbers. But so it's very interesting to see how people are all dealing with this. Some fans are coming to her defense and saying she's a freedom fighter. They're trying to censor her, and you know, she was a rebel and she was basically not taking their... Oh, here it is, Defying Curtains. I wanted to read out their article. I didn't want to misrepresent what they said. Last night at the Palladium, it was one of the best nights of the tour and certainly one to remember. Here's Neil reporting. The show started just after 9 p.m, so that confirms after 9 p.m. With God Control. There was no beer share moment, but instead Madonna performed Don't Cry For Me with Andrew Lloyd Webber watching her. Yes, Madonna performed almost the entire song, second verse to the end, with the Evita songwriter watching her. As Come Alive came came to an end, she turned to the backing singers and said, "Go." This was 10:55. During Future, she was visibly hurried and said something about not being pulled off stage. At the end of Like a Prayer, she got the entire audience clapping and chanting, "I have one more song, I have one more song." As the red curtain pulled across when the song ended, as it does at every show, she said, "Keep my mic on, I'm finishing the show, we're going on." The lights went down for I Rise at 11:10, and just as the intro started, they closed the curtains on her. Bear in mind that the final curfew they have agreed upon is 11:15. That's what they're saying, 11:15, but she hasn't said that. Madonna started chanting "Censorship" off stage, and the entire audience, with the lights on, chanted too. It was good-humoured in support of her. It was crazy and exciting and positive. Her sound team thought the stage monitor speakers restarted, got the stage... I'm not sure this person's proofread, and I'm bad at reading anyway. Her sound team got the stage monitor speakers restarted as I Rise, as the dancers all came on stage along with the band and the crew and the backing singers in their offstage outfits. With the house mic on and the music just audible, Madonna performed the whole song. Now I heard it sounded like about 3 minutes of the song, not the whole song, in front of the curtain. It was like a gigantic fuck you to the petty London Palladium, who shut her down 4 minutes before curfew. This is the part that sounds wrong. Venue security were all over the place whining. Everyone left their seats and crowded the stage shouting and singing I Rise in the best, most amazing atmosphere. At the end, defiant to the last, Madonna exited through the crowd, flanked by her own awesome security, full crew, dancers and singers. Despite the crowd being out of their seats, they just parted for her safe exit. It was magic. On the way out, the London Palladium security were hanging their heads in shame. ranging from, basically she's saying what they were saying, ranging from Westminster Council pulled the plug, so he's saying what? So a councillor was on site to pull it 5 minutes early, to, oh my God, I'm so worried this will be in the papers tomorrow. One security guard said to me, we seriously fucked up here. She wasn't late. I can't imagine security walking up to strangers and just announcing, oh, look what we've done, look what we've done. This just sounds like bullshit. So let's not start blaming that she was over curfew. She wasn't. She had until 11:15, which is not what she said. She said she had until 11, according to the venue security. And yeah, it was an absolute brilliant end. I live for moments like this when we see the brave, defiant, shit-disturber Madonna come to the surface. And in the face of petty, overzealous London Palladium security tonight, she won. And how sad did it look at the London Palladium security, on the London Palladium security, as Andrew Lloyd Webber, who owns the venue, watched the security teams create this mess in front of his eyes. The rest of the run will be very interesting. Now, like I said, I'm not buying that that's the way it went. Madonna says herself she had until 9. That makes sense. 9:15 doesn't make any sense. This seems to be something he's saying. He's saying she was done. She still had 5 minutes. It was 11:10. Oxana, who was there, said 11:15. So I'm guessing she ran way over time. They gave her some extra time. And they don't have a choice. It's the law. If they don't pull down the curtain, I'm assuming they get fined or they get in trouble. And the people who are all there working, they're supposed to leave at 11. Why should they be 15 minutes late and have to call their babysitters and their husbands or wives or whatever and say, I'm running late because of Madonna? She knows what time the show starts, and I'm getting a little sick of this. This is just a constant thing where she's always late. She blames everyone else. She doesn't take any responsibility. She thinks she's a queen. She's not. She's just an artist. She's a 61-year-old artist. She's an amazing artist, an iconic artist. We love her, but she needs to be on time and get her shit together, because this shit just makes her look bad, and it's embarrassing. See, some sycophants will just be like, oh, she's a goddess. Oh, she's a rebel. Other people will look at this and go, she's late. She's inconveniencing other people. She's inconsiderate. It's not cute. So yeah, so we've got 3 different versions of how that went down. And I'm going with Madonna's version, which is that she was late and they shut her off, but not with her interpretation that they were censoring her. Like, how is that censorship? Like, seriously, like what they didn't like the theme of I Rise, so they dropped the curtain 5 minutes sooner than they would have otherwise if she'd been performing Holiday or Vogue or something. It's ridiculous. It's playing the victim, and I just can't respect it. So I just wish she would show up on time, maybe even early for a change. How about aim for early, and then you've got a bit of time to work with? That's the best way to go, huh? Madonna, are you listening to me? No, I don't think so. You don't know I exist. Not really. Okay, well, I'm going to go. I've talked way too long, but then again, I had like 3 versions of this to go through. And I'm not even going to try and work out what song she did or didn't perform. And the only good thing to note is that she did have a little spot in the Rolling Stone, which just sort of looked at the tour and was just sort of looking at different elements and what stars showed up. And it wasn't a cover story or a full article or anything. It was just a little bit. But it was cute. So that's the only positive thing. I'll end off with that. And I guess I will go. Feel free to share, like, comment. Comments are fun. If you were there, let me know your version of what happened, because I've heard, I think, 4 versions now, and I'll call a couple of people and ask them what the hell happened. See if I can get any different versions. Thanks, bye.